So one of my projects, I had to make something that measures out of paper, which is kind of interesting. But my second one, which I really enjoyed, was I had to make a toy out of wood for 2-year-old blind or visually impaired children.
Wow. What was that like?
That was so interesting. I love kids. So I really liked researching and making a toy that was like very textural and that kids could use.
What kind of research did you need to do for this toy?
So this one was basically focused on empathy. So I had to try to get into this child's shoes. I researched about visually impaired children and their like daily life because I wanted to make something that they could use and apply to their life. So I researched like what do toddlers usually do, right?
Yeah.
Normal toddlers, and then what do visually impaired toddlers do, and like how do they experience life, and how's life different for them, right? So I ended up making these blocks with like shapes on them, and the shapes were coordinated with like a color. And I also did like a survey on what shape do you associate to which color. I did that to a lot of people.
Oh,
that was really interesting.
I remember you posted this on your Instagram stories.
I needed help. So I needed as many people as possible to do the quiz. And then I associated like the colors with the shapes. And then even though they couldn't see the shapes, I wanted them to still associate it with a color. And these blocks could like stick together with Velcro. So they could use them for patterns and they could use them just to sort, which is really beneficial for toddlers. But then I also wanted them to have that color aspect so that they could transfer it into clothes. I wanted the child to also have buttons. For example, like a triangle was yellow. And if the child has like a triangle button sewn onto their clothes, they could know it's a yellow top. Because right now, people are just using Braille and safety pins, which aren't so safe for toddlers. And they can't really read Braille, although they would learn to. But I feel like toddlers are now like finding their independence from their parents. Therefore, they like try to choose their own clothes, try to do their own things, and they're very limited if they are visually impaired or blind. So I wanted to make that connection with my toy.
How did this project change your perspective on making things available to people with special needs? I
thought it was a really, really great way to have this brief so that we were more aware and we would empathize with more people. And I found that this was like a very niche kind of project to work on, right? I've been sort of aware because my friend, she works with a lot of special needs kids and her sister's special needs, as well as our neighbor who has a special needs kid and they're missionaries, and their friend's daughter is blind and she's a 4-year-old. So I've kind of been aware, but I haven't tried to design anything or really research into it.
Did you talk about this project with your friend whose daughter was like special, who was visually impaired?
I met her afterwards, but it was kind of interesting because I was like, oh my gosh, here's a child that could have, if I made my product, right, she could use it and she could, I guess, choose her own clothing, right?
How did that make you feel?
It was really special. I was like, wow. Like, we're creating products that people will use in the future.
It's designed with impact, not just like that thing for your rice cooker that you have 5 of.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason I really wanted to go into product design. I really like working with people, and I thought this will draw me closer to people. I can empathize, research, and really know my audience.